No, you just focus. Stop. Hit you like a rail. I couldn't see you. Hey. Let's make a headshot. Hand down, hand up. Hand down, hand up. Right?
The best. I promise you none of these niggas gonna beat me. None of them. I'm gonna make an example out of Tio. That's the only thing I love. I promise they got me up.
Honestly, the most flawless from 123 all the way down to 114. Since then, he's had his shares of victories.
Shakur Stevenson has added noticeable mass, building his frame as he gears up to meet Teofimo Lopez at a 140-pound catch weight on January 31st, signaling a serious physical shift for this challenge.
Fucked up. Work hard. Sacrifices, discipline, time away from my family. How you gonna beat me? Ain't no way you can beat me that way, bro. Keep saying I'm the best. Because I don't want this shit more than me. I know it. I know it. I want this so bad. So bad. Shit easy, gang.
Easy, man.
Easy.
Always easy, man.
You already know.
Always easy, man.
This supposed to be a sprint.
Let's go.
This ain't no sprint.
No, it's a job. Let's go. We ready.
Inside camp, his mindset is relentless. Every session is about pushing past comfort, sharpening technique, and stacking strength with one goal in mind, showing up fully prepared to control the fight when it matters most.
Both legs, bang, hit it for 3. We rested, we did 3 more. And we're trying to get that 1.0 meters per second, maximize our power. I had you at about 120, 125, but we're gonna add some reps and lighten the weight a little bit.
Terrence Crawford has become a regular presence in Shakur Stevenson's training, offering guidance through shared rounds, detailed advice, and demanding sparring. Those intense exchanges are designed to elevate Stevenson's skill set, mental sharpness, and toughness, delivering lessons that can't be learned any other way.
I almost missed that one. There it go. 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 God damn. There it go, bro. He tried to run me into the wall. Y'all didn't see that? He tried. Man, I performed. Slow down. I told y'all what I was gonna do. I was gonna come out here and beat his ass every game. And look, he thinking about saying, let's play again.
Shakur Stevenson has locked in on speed as a priority, fine-tuning his footwork, punch selection, and reactions to overwhelm opponents with fast, accurate movement. Teofimo Lopez has openly acknowledged Stevenson's brilliance at 135 pounds, but questions how that skill translates at 140, insisting the fight itself will answer whether Stevenson can truly carry his game up in weight.
Honestly, the most flawless from 123 all the way down to 114. Since then, he's had his shares of victories. I think 135 was his top tier. 140, I think we just gotta wait and see. You know what I mean? And for him to even come up to do that, you know, I think he deserves his flowers for everyone else out there. You know, guys trying to go more down into the ranks of top 5, top 3, and eventually top 1 for pound.
But that ain't what you said, bro.
What'd I say?
I mean, I gotta remind you, you said basically I'm good at the lower weight classes. The only way that I'm going to be good is I fight at 126 pounds against guys like Inoue. But once I move up, you're gonna, well, I can't compete at this level at that weight class.
Antonio Tarver approaches this matchup with the perspective of someone who looks beyond win-loss records. In his view, Teofimo Lopez cannot be defined by recent performances alone. Tarver emphasizes that Lopez still owns rare natural abilities that can't be taught. His quickness, power, and explosive athleticism are still there, making him dangerous against anyone. Tarver's caution is rooted in the belief that danger doesn't vanish just because confidence wobbles. A fighter with Lopez's physical tools needs only a brief opening to flip a fight entirely. Against a technician like Shakur Stevenson, even a small pause or misread moment could carry serious consequences.
Both possess?
Yeah, I mean, smart money would be on the boxer, Shakur Stevenson, winning the decision. But, if Lopez can make this fight, a lot tougher than expected, and he's going to have to exchange with Shakur. He's a fast fighter. We don't know who's the quickest or fastest here. You have to give the speed edge to Shakur. But if Lopez can punch with this fast guy, make him a little bit cautious and a little bit leery of what's coming back, that serves him well. But Teofimo is one of the best conditioned fighters out there. If this fight goes late, you can expect him to be pushing forward round 9, 10, and 11 if it goes late.
Yeah, a big question is always like what Teo is going to show up. And like when everyone's counted out Teo, it's actually been the times where he's like upset people, like against Lomachenko, against Josh Taylor, fights to the level of his competition. And I've been thinking like, hey, if we get the best version of Teo, like the Teo that showed up for those fights, does that Teo beat the best Shakur?
It would have, I think that's the only chance he got, is to really be his ultra self, doing all the things that makes him Teofimo Lopez. The footwork could be a major advantage for him, being able to get inside. A lot of times he fights free. He don't really have a style. He does what it takes. And he's a gutsy fighter. Real gutsy. He's not going to be leery to take chances. He's a gambler in there. You know what I'm saying? So he's a live underdog, I would say. A live underdog, but if he's to win this fight, I think he has to probably...
Zab Judah sees this bout as a true meeting of elite talent rather than manufacture excitement. To him, both fighters are equally driven to prove who stands above the other. Neither is willing to surrender ground, mentally or physically. Judah doesn't view this as a contest decided by size or raw power. Instead, it comes down to who can impose their style when the pressure rises. With both men known for confidence and discipline, he expects a tense, adjustment-heavy fight filled with intensity. Judah believes that refusal to retreat on either side is what elevates this matchup beyond a routine showcase and into a genuine test of skill.
It's two dog fighters. You got two dog fighters that's coming in there to solidify themselves as the game changer. Teo's not gonna lay down. Shakur is not gonna lay down. It's gonna be skill versus skill. Teo's a very talented, skillful fighter. Shakur is a very extremely talented, skillful fighter. And yes, we're gonna see a hell of a great chess match that night.
Yeah, I believe so. Now, I think in your earlier predictions, you felt like Shakur will be stopping Teo? Am I right?
Annihilation, decapitation. Is that what you're talking about? You going back to my comments? Yeah. I feel like Teo's a very dominant force, but I just think that the skills of Shakur Stevens is gonna overwhelm Teo. It's gonna overwhelm. Yeah. He's never seen this type of action before yet.
Now,
No disrespect. Okay. It's my little man, you know what I'm saying? Just saying, yo, it is what it is.
Looking at, the stats, the resumes, we see that, Teo has been at this high level for a long time. When it comes to Shakur Stevenson, his amateur record speaks for itself, but at the same time, not necessarily getting the notable names that people know in America. People are also saying that they're kind of discrediting Shakur's resume, saying he hasn't really fought anybody. Teofimo Lopez would be that first person. Do you feel like that could be something that, I don't know, it could be a lot closer than what people think?
I mean, listen, the fight's gonna be a lot closer than people think. We just blabbing our mouth and running off what we think our professional opinion is. These are two talented, great young fighters in here. You know what I'm saying? Teo's not gonna back down. Shakur's not gonna back down. We're gonna get an exciting 12-round fights or however long it should last. We're gonna have an exciting fight. And I'm expecting both guys to come in there and leave everything.
Shakur Stevenson presents a puzzle that few fighters have successfully solved. Instead of overwhelming opponents with constant offense, he controls fights in a quieter, more deliberate way. He prioritizes shutting down opportunities rather than forcing action, gradually removing options and setting the tempo himself. His defensive awareness, positioning, and timing make clean exchanges hard to come by. Opponents are pushed to work harder for less reward, often growing frustrated as the rounds slip away.
It's a really Mike 12 vote Teofimo Lopez. People love talking about this resume that Teofimo Lopez has. Granted, it's a really good resume. He has guys like Lomachenko under his belt, Josh Taylor. But if I'm being honest, Josh Taylor played into what Teofimo Lopez wanted him to do so perfectly. Lomachenko, he lost that fight more than Teofimo won that fight, if I'm being honest. And against lower level competition, like a Steve Claggett, like a Jermaine Ortiz, like a Kambosos,
that method makes Stevenson both irritating and hard to read in the ring. He rarely reveals patterns, and when an opponent begins to adjust, he adjusts right back without hesitation. Against someone like Lopez, who feeds on rhythm, confidence, and momentum, this approach is especially risky. Stevenson's ability to disrupt flow before it fully forms threatens to blunt Lopez's natural advantages. What further separates Stevenson is his composure. He stays calm when pressure builds and doesn't unravel when circumstances change. That steadiness allows him to process information in real time and make subtle but critical adjustments. Facing Stevenson requires patience, discipline, and emotional control, traits that test even elite fighters. For Lopez, this contest isn't only physical, it's a challenge of focus and restraint.
Talk about a focused Teo. A focused Teo was only unfocused for one fight his whole life, and that was George Kambosos, and that's the only fight I'll give y'all. No matter who Shakur fought, he's looked great against everybody. No matter it's the bums that y'all say he fights or the number one guys in the division, Shakur Stevenson has dominated everybody. It's gonna be a sight to see. Shakur Stevenson on fight night is going to make fireworks happen, and I can't wait to see it. I've already gave my stance on this, but Shakur Stevenson it's just his time, and Teo's just...
Lopez's career clearly shifted after his loss to George Kambosos, a defeat that interrupted the momentum he once carried with certainty. Before that night, his performances were marked by sharp focus and steady execution. Since then, his outings have felt uneven, flashes of brilliance mixed with moments of lost discipline. Still, inconsistency doesn't erase danger. Lopez remains a threat, particularly early in fights when his energy is high and belief fuels his offense.
Teofimo hurt Shakur with one shot. Can you hurt him clean? He hasn't been a killer, as much of a killer at 140. And after Kambosos, he hasn't been the same, in my opinion. But he's still explosive and still dangerous in the first 7 rounds. You know what I'm saying? The first 8 rounds. So I think it's a good fight. I like the fight, actually, because of that. Teofimo got the explosive punching power on his side and good athleticism. And Shakur has the, superior boxing IQ, good range, good distance. So it's great. It's good boxer versus good athlete at this point. So I like the fight. I don't say it's 50-50. I say it's 60-40 Shakur. But I like Teofimo's chances in this fight. You know what I'm saying? If Teofimo makes this a fight and comes out early and attacks and gets right up on Shakur.
His defining weapon is still his ability to produce sudden power. Even when he seems off balance or out of sync, one explosive action can completely change a fight's direction. That unpredictability keeps opponents tense, never fully comfortable, knowing control can vanish instantly. Many observers note that while his dominance has fluctuated, his physical gifts haven't declined. The speed, strength, and athleticism are still there. This creates a volatile mix where brilliance and mistakes coexist. Against a composed fighter like Stevenson, that volatility becomes critical. It could spark a defining breakthrough if timed right, or spiral into frustration if patience slips. If Stevenson manages distance and dictates pace, Lopez may be left reaching, missing, and growing increasingly frustrated.
De La Santos. You're going to see De La Santos part 2, and he's just going to get on his bicycle, which we don't want to see, or he's going to have to fight. And and I think Teofimo is a guy that can make Shakur fight, because he can cut off the ring well enough. You know what I'm saying? I think he can stay with him well enough where he could turn this into a fight, and it'll be exciting for him if he does. I think Shakur, like a lot of fighters, he needs this name in order to silence a lot of the naysayers. Because people talk a lot of shit about Shakur, especially after the De Los Santos fight. I don't think, the Zabata fight took it off of him, even though they tried to make it seem.
Tim Bradley frames this matchup as a clash of opposing philosophies, raw explosion versus measured control. In his assessment, Teofimo Lopez thrives on sharp movements and sudden bursts that create offense out of thin air. His speed and athleticism are meant to overwhelm before opponents can settle. Lopez looks to inject chaos early, forcing reactions and punishing hesitation with power shots that can instantly reshape the fight.
But it's the feet. The feet is what gets you in position to be able to land those shots. Footwork is extremely important. When I look at both these guys, and I look at Shakur's footwork, I look at Teo's footwork, and what I noticed about Teo's footwork in particular is that in order to be able to throw with the amount of power that he has, I've noticed with Teo, there's always a subtle pause before he actually explodes. And Teo's a guy that likes to explode into contact, like to explode into his opponents, man, to land his offense. Fast, twitchy type muscles, fibers, he's extremely fast. Some may say that, his twitchiness kind of reminds him of like Roy Jones' type of, movements, how quick he's able to close that distance on his opposition.
According to Bradley, the result won't hinge on volume or aggression alone. The winner will be the fighter who controls where and how the fight unfolds, setting the rhythm, and compelling the other man to adjust on unfavorable terms.
It's the feet. The feet is what gets you in position to be able to land those shots. Footwork is extremely important. When I look at both these guys, and I look at Shakur's footwork, I look at Teo's footwork, and what I noticed about Teo's footwork in particular is that in order to be able to throw with the amount of power that he has, I've noticed with Teo, there's always a subtle pause before he actually explodes. And Teo's a guy that likes to explode into contact, like to explode into his opponents, man, to land his offense. Fast, twitchy type muscles, fibers, he's extremely fast. Some may say that, his twitchiness kind of reminds him of like Roy Jones' type of, movements, how quick he's able to close that distance on his opposition. However, he's in there with a guy that is a master at controlling distance. That's he's a master at literally, getting in his position, right, in the position where he wants to be and taking away your positioning. And with doing so, he takes away your feet, and that's why I think feet are going to be extremely important in this. If you can keep your opponent off balance, for instance, let me just give you an example. It's like Teo explodes. There's a subtlety before he explodes with his offense. And as soon as Shakur sees that, he's anticipating something to come. He knows he's going to explode in. So what does Shakur do? Teo takes a big step in.
When discussing the fight, Stevenson carries himself with quiet confidence. He doesn't dodge criticism or appear shaken by doubt. Instead, he presents the matchup as a natural step forward in his journey. His confidence is rooted in preparation, not showmanship. Stevenson speaks like someone comfortable under scrutiny, trusting that his performance will answer questions. That mental balance could be vital against a fighter as emotionally driven as Lopez. Stevenson's ability to stay composed suggests he's ready for both the physical grind and the psychological pressure this fight brings.
It's cool. I mean, that's their opinion. They can say that. But I know he never fought nobody on my level. I'm 1,000,000% sure that Teo has never seen nobody as good as me in his life.
He's talking about once he gets through you, then he wants Crawford, names like that. How do you think he would do against someone like Terrence at this point?
I think he gets knocked out.
Can't even hang with him.
Yeah, he's too little. Bud is too big for him. I'm not gonna say he's on a Terrence Crawford level of skills, but he's very skillful. He got a lot of things with him that puts him at a high level.
One thing that was interesting to me was it seemed like you were going to move on from Matchroom, but now Eddie Hearn is involved in this, and this is a Matchroom event. It seems like, I know it's a ring card too, but he's promoting it here in the United States. So what is the state of your relationship with Eddie and Matchroom at this point?
Eddie's my guy. I'm actually not signed to Matchroom, but he's my guy. I'm a big fan of Eddie Hearn, and nothing but respect to him. But I'm glad he's the promoter that's on this card. I'm glad to share the spotlight with his promotional company.
So if he's your guy, how come you're not signed to Matchroom?
I mean, it's just business. If it makes sense, then I will. You know, if it come down to it and that's what makes sense, then we'll do it. But right now, I don't think it makes sense.
Okay, so are you just more of like your own man at this point? Your own entity?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Do you negotiate with the ring people, with Turkey? You just do that yourself?
No, me and my manager.
All right, that wraps up today's video. Stay locked in. Until next time.